thought I would just make a brief video discussing the essay topic for Sophocles, essay 3. Um, I am not a literature teacher. Aside from teaching intellectual heritage, I'm a philosophy teacher. And I think that may explain a couple things about the assignment. First of all, when it comes to literature, I'm an amateur. I mean, I've read fiction and drama and poetry all my life, and I've talked about it for years with students, but it is not my thing. I'm not a literature teacher, an English teacher. So when it comes to asking students, giving an assignment having to do with a work of literature like Oedipus or Antigone, maybe I struggle. So I wanted to at least make sure that it was clear what exactly I was asking you to do in this essay. And the second reference to my being a philosophy teacher is that I have a tendency to look at everything in terms of ideas. And my main interest in literature is not formal. It's not my training, formal in the sense of the language used, the structure of the drama, things like that. That's not my background. So what I naturally do is I gravitate to ideas. And maybe the question I'm asking you for this assignment is the kind of question I would ask of myself. That is, how to read these works of literature. And what I should be trying to do to appreciate them and how I should regard them. And that's really embedded in the question that I ask you here. In his plays King Oedipus or Oedipus the King and Antigone, did Sophocles have, in either case, that is in the case of either one of these essays, or excuse me, either one of these plays, an underlying message? And if so, what was it? That's a little ambiguous. You can just discuss Oedipus if you like. You could just discuss Antigone if you like, or you could discuss both of them in terms of this question, whether there's an underlying message. I was kind of thinking that you would discuss both of them, but there's no reason not to focus completely on the Antigone or focus completely on Oedipus. That would be fine. That's up to you. So is there an underlying message in Oedipus? Is Sophocles trying to get some idea over to his readers, to his audience, through the story of Oedipus and the way that he tells it? And the same for Antigone. And if there is an underlying message, an underlying idea, an underlying thesis, you might say, what was it in the case of Oedipus and or Antigone? But you can answer that question, that first question, in any way you like. You can say no, there is no underlying message. There is that, which is to say, it could be that that's the wrong way to read it. And I want to leave it open. I didn't want to just ask, what is the underlying message of Oedipus, or what is the underlying message of Antigone? I wanted to leave open the option on the part of you, the writer and the reader of these works, to say there is no underlying message. That is, if not, that is, if you answer the question, is there an underlying message? No, then that's great. That's fine. I mean, but then explain why looking for such a message is the wrong way to read the plays. That is, how should the plays be read? If not looking for an underlying message, or not assuming that there's a underlying thesis or main idea or claim that's being made by Sophocles through these dramas. Well, I mean, which is to say, maybe I'm trying to put my own sort of prejudices in terms of how to read these works, putting it out there that maybe it is the wrong way, that looking for an underlying message is just the wrong way to read these plays, and maybe any play. If we asked, what is the underlying message of Hamlet or Streetcar Named Desire, some people would say, well, it's misunderstanding Tennessee Williams and misunderstanding Shakespeare and misunderstanding what the thing is about. Well, may be true, then why is that wrong? Or why is that wrong way to read the play? So I wanted to leave that open to those of you who maybe have a different theory or a different approach to drama than I do. I'm very open to hearing other ideas. So basically, you want to make a decision. Is there an underlying message in either of these plays, or isn't there? Maybe that's the wrong way to read it. If you do think there is an underlying message, well, what was it? And maybe what do you think of it? But if you don't think there's an underlying message, that's fine too. Just sort of, well, then what? How should we read the play? And why is it wrong to show that there's not an underlying message? Show that there's not an underlying philosophical theme of some sort. That would be great too. So I hope that clarified things somewhat. And if you have any additional questions or would like some further clarification about this prompt, this assignment, just let me know, and I'll do my best to explain myself better.